What's up, guys? Welcome to another video about a Frontline Trooper. This is, of course, Halo Part 4 on the making of the Magnum. Now, when we left off last time, we had cut out all the details we needed. Now we're going to go in and add all this extra stuff we need to really make the gun look awesome, such as the handguards, the triggers, and all those other little features like bolts and safety things and all those kind of little things. So let's get straight into it. To start off, we'll start on the trigger. Now, the trigger is something that's easy to do. Just grab a bit of foam and, first of all, you want to trace out the part where the trigger will be placed up against, which is on the gun handle itself. And once you've got that, you can kind of just draw it out and start cutting it out of the block of foam. Now, the thing is, with the trigger, you don't want to make it too elaborate because you are going to have to be kind of imitating to pretend, quotation mark, or quotation bunny ears, pretend, to shoot, and you don't want to be applying too much force on it, otherwise it might break, and the last thing you want is to break your prop right in the middle when you're shooting it, i.e. shooting it on effects and shooting it on the camera. So we're going to add in now little bits of safety extras, such as little safety locks, which are pretty simple. You just draw them out as you like, or as you see on the picture, and cut them out of a nice little thin bit, and pretty much that's it. Then just go stick it on. Make sure it's the right size. Remember, always referring back to your reference pictures to make sure you know what you're designing, you know what you're creating, so that it does look the same. And just glue it on, but we'll do that later. And the next part will be the magazine. Now, I went with two different types. You can either go with an extended mag, but for this one, I'll go with just a normal, I think it's like 12-shot mag, so we'll just quickly get the measurements we need. So just find a random bit of foam, and just kind of work it out. To find out the measurements, you just quickly trace around the handle hilt and cut around it. From there we can then cut out the magazine chamber as well as the butt of the magazine, which we can add in later. Now, this is quite a difficult part to do because you are working quite close to the blade and you've got no other room to hold it with your fingers, so please take extra care in this. I have actually hurt myself many times, not seriously, but just little finger pricks. But if you do any more, that could result in the loss of half a finger or something like that. So just take it easy when you're keeping the blade around your fingers. And once you've got it to this stage, you just want to finish it off by putting in little slits down the back, which kind of emphasizes where the spring would be triggered up to kind of guide the bullets up into the chamber of the gun. And then just cut it down to the size that you want to have it out, whether it's an extended mag or just a normal mag. And test that it works, and then put it to the side, and we'll glue it later. Oh, one thing I'm adding in here is just little details. So if you get a pen and just push it against, it kind of just gives a nice little detail that looks and stands out quite a bit. But it's completely up to you. So now we'll do the handguard. Now the handguard is quite a hard part to do, as because this stuff is made of foam, it can be quite vulnerable to destruction. So you really have to take care of these weapons. The majority of my weapons that are small, like these handguns, actually get molded into plastic, so they get made stronger. So I don't have to worry about it. But for you guys who aren't using plastics, you will have to be careful. You don't want to throw it at something because it will break. So pretty much what you want to do is look back at your reference picture and see how the handguard is supposed to look. Get a thin block of foam and start just testing it. Luckily, I actually made it work on the first try, but you guys might not be so successful, so just give it a go. So you want to just get the measurements, see where it's got to meet and end, and just kind of look at your reference picture and see how you want it. See, I've done it a bit too high, so I'm going to cut it down, and then use another piece to create the bottom of it, and it's just trial and error, just seeing if it fits, if it doesn't. As you can see, it's a bit too long at the bottom, so I'll cut the end off and make the adjustments I need, and it fits. So it's pretty easy. Just take your time. Now, we never actually finished this part in the last tutorial, so we'll go and do it now. This is the tip of the gun on the big part at the end. I still don't know what to call it. But what we're going to do is kind of line it up with the back of the chamber and then just elevate it a tiny bit above, kind of where the top of the bullet chamber goes, and just draw a line and then draw a line on the top. You can kind of get the reference from this video. And we want to cut that on the angle between those two lines. The reason why we're drawing the lines is so that we can guide the knife finally to the point where we want it to make, so it's a nice straight line. You want to use a sharp knife for this because we're going to be cutting through the glue that we actually use to glue the two pieces together. You're going to need a sharp knife so you don't get all crusty looking and whatnot. Unfortunately, I wasn't using a sharp knife because I ran out, which is naughty of me because I should be showing you how to do it with a sharp knife, but all in all, it kind of doesn't really matter all that much because we can go and sand it down at the end, but still, I would recommend having a sharp knife. Now, because we've done all the all the little bits, you just want to go sand over the whole gun, sand all over those edges just to make sure it works. Grab your hot glue gun and start applying the hot glue to the pieces, not in large quantities, just do it in enough just to kind of stick it all together, and start piecing together the puzzle. And you'll really start to see how all these parts really add to the gun as an overall aesthetic and make it look good. Now the thing is, with this tutorial, I'm not doing full out HD, as I really am creating the basics just to allow you guys to see how it's done and to follow it enough to create this Magnum, and then you guys can go redo it and really look at the reference pictures and see what details are missed out and what good reason I left them out, because I didn't want to confuse you and I couldn't make these tutorials too long because you guys would get lost and bored of me talking for these 6 minutes or whatever, because I also don't like listening to myself, and I don't really like listening to other people's tutorials where they talk for 6 minutes. So yeah, this is really a one-off. I know you guys probably only watch this once with me talking, which is perfectly fine by me, because you really don't need to be hearing the same thing twice. And we're going to jump into the HD features, such as little exhaust pipes, or whatever you call those exhaust vents at the back, little bolts and stuff that really bring out the gun. Now you don't have to add these, like I said, this is getting a bit more advanced. Maybe you want to do this on your second gun, but you can give it a go. You just make little lip inlets to really bring out the gun and make it look more like a Halo Magnum, and making it your own as well. Always go with customizations. Like, people say, oh, it's not a Magnum if that part's not on it. To those people I say, go get a life, dude. Honestly, if you're gonna sit there and crave over a Magnum just because it's got a centimeter out of proportion or something, you seriously need to wake up to reality and notice that these things are built for fun. They're not built because I'm obsessed with them or anything. I just like improving my skills, teaching you guys how to do it, and to customize your own thing and make it your own Magnum is perfectly fine. So, I'll see you in the next part where I teach you how to paint.